Hello and welcome to this short training video as part of our Tungsten University Class of 2020 training program. My name is Chris Parker, the Director of Customer Success for EMEA and APAC, and today I'm going to be talking to you just a brief introduction to the solutions and products from Continuent. As customers, I'm sure many of you will be aware of the products, but this is just kind of a recap and an introduction to the rest of the training program going forward. So first of all, we have three main products. As you're aware, we have Tungsten Clustering, we have Tungsten Replicator, and we have Tungsten Dashboard. So let's talk clustering first. So Tungsten Clustering, it's the only fully integrated, fully tested MySQL HA, DR, and geo clustering solution. So what does that mean? Well, offering, amongst other things, we offer continuous MySQL operations, zero downtime maintenance, geo-distributed clusters running, whether that's on premises and or in the cloud. We can do the multi-cloud, hybrid cloud, support for business critical MySQL. We support the MySQL Community Edition, MariaDB, Percona Server, Enterprise Edition, with no need for any application changes. We also have the benefits of Tungsten Proxy or Tungsten Connector, depends which word you're familiar with, and this provides the intelligent read-write splitting for your applications. Throughout the course of the training masterclasses that you're following now, we'll be diving into all of these topologies in a lot more detail, and we'll look at all of these benefits that you can gain from using Tungsten Clustering. In summary, though, we have three main core topologies. The first, which is quite common, is the basic standalone cluster. So it's just a single cluster. You need at least 3 nodes. If you want to add more nodes, you can. That's no problem. You can add another 2 nodes to make it 5, 7, 9. You always have to have an odd number of nodes to maintain quorum. And what does this do? Well, it provides localized HA, instant failover in the case of a primary node breaking, and will fail over to one of the replica nodes instantly, bring your applications running straight away. The primary node is the read-write node. The replica nodes are your read-only nodes, and that's where the intelligent proxy comes in and can intelligently redirect queries, whether it's a read-write query to the primary or whether it's a read-only query that we can balance across the replicas within the cluster. And again, this can be either on-premise or it can be in the cloud. We support AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. So, we can integrate and work quite happily with all of these cloud services. Our next topology, Tungsten Cluster Plus Active Passive. This is basically a composite cluster, a cluster of clusters, where one cluster would be your active cluster, and within that active cluster you would have your primary MySQL node, which is taking your reads and your writes. Then you would have one or more additional passive clusters. Passive clusters can be used for disaster recovery. They can be used to move data closer to your customers for better reading. So there's lots of uses here. And again, this can be deployed in any cloud or on premises, or it could be even a mixture of the two. So for example, your active cluster could be on premise, but you may have your DR clusters, your passive clusters sitting in cloud. So you have that DR capability. And you can switch between, you can move this active cluster, so you can promote one of your passive clusters to be your active cluster. And the Tungsten Proxy that then is sitting within this topology is intelligent enough to know which cluster is your active cluster and will always send right to it. And the intelligent proxies then can be configured in a way to balance reads, not just within a particular local cluster, but we could balance reads across your DR clusters as well. Taking this one step further, we can then go Tungsten Cluster plus active active. Here again, a composite cluster of clusters, but in this case, all of your clusters are active, and in each cluster you will have one primary node that will take reads and writes, and then you have your replica nodes within that cluster as well. So this is a real geo-distributed solution, taking your writes where your customers are. So in this diagram here, you can see we have 4 clusters: East and West Coast, the US, Europe, and Asia Pacific. This will provide much faster read and write capability within the regions. So you wouldn't want your users, for example, in Asia having to have the effects of network latency because your only writable primary node happens to be in the US. It doesn't make sense. So we can bring those writes local to your users. Tungsten Replicator. Okay, so Tungsten Replicator is part of the clustering solution. The replicator sits there and it is responsible for moving the data between your primary and your replica nodes, but it could also be a completely standalone product, offering real-time replication in a number of environments. Primarily, we could use a standalone replicator for heterogeneous replication. We can extract in the same way that the clustering can be used for MySQL, Percona, Maria. Replicator can also extract from those same environments, but in addition, the replicator can also extract from AWS Aurora RDS instances. And then in terms of our heterogeneous targets, we can write in real time to a number of targets. So Redshift, Vertica, Hadoop, Kafka, many, many more. And all of this is done in real time. The replicator can then allow you to do quite complex topologies, so what we call fan in and fan out. So you could be extracting from multiple MySQL sources, replicating into a single data warehouse environment for reporting, or we could go, that would be fan in, and obviously fan out. You could have a single MySQL source, and that could be replicating out to a number of different targets, depending upon business use cases. The replicator can also be used to have a replication pipeline extracting from your cluster, replicating into any of these heterogeneous targets as well. We have flexible advanced filtering, so you can pick and choose objects to replicate out. You could do some basic data manipulation as well. And on top of that, it's also available as an AMI through the Amazon Marketplace. So if you are an Amazon AWS user, you could have quick, fast access to the replicator and try it for free for 14 days. Tungsten Dashboard. This is our graphical interface enabling you to have full control of your clusters. This is completely free of charge and is available to all cluster users, providing you're running version 5.3 and above. And what does it do? Well, it's very, very nice to look at. It means that you can have a complete view of your entire Tungsten estate. So if you're a customer that has 3, 4, 5, even more clusters, all doing different things, they're not necessarily working together. They could be independent clusters for different business operations. A single dashboard will allow you to bring all of that together into one single place. Quick, instant view of what's online. If there are any errors, you can point and click options. So all of the commands that you're familiar with writing and typing through the command line interface through CCTRL, that can all be done through a single point and click in the dashboard. As I say, it's free as well to all clustering users. Very simple, very lightweight to set up. So in summary, as I say, it was a very quick video. It was just to introduce you at a very high level to the 3 core products that we have: Clustering, Replicator, and Dashboard. And this will now give you the starting blocks for you to go on into the rest of the masterclass training. I hope you found it informative and useful, and I look forward to speaking to you on our future training courses as we progress through this masterclass together. Thank you and goodbye.